So my name's Mark. We're going to be going through the AI course creator. We're going to create a course, and we're going to show you how this tool can give hopefully improve some of your course creation time. Let me just explain. Firstly, let me explain who I am. So I'm the business development manager here at eSkilled. I sell both SMS, student management system, learning management systems, LMS, and our AI course creator. So we go through and demo that to RTOs, and hopefully people come on board. In terms of my background, I've been involved in a couple of different brands of software for training organizations, but yeah, eSkilled's been able to develop some really cool products, and I love to present them. So firstly, this session, we're going to go through what is AI course creator, how does it work, and how are we different, of course. We're going to do a practical demonstration and create a course. I've got an example unit of competency, so it's good to see there's lots of RTOs here. We're going to go through editing your course, because obviously you can use the AI to edit it as well. We're going to go through sharing your course with your learning management system and different themes, and of course, how much does it cost? So what is AI course creator? So we're going to create e-learning files, all right? It's a SCORM file that can be utilized on any LMS. It's going to create your courses for you with content, practical example case study, and a formative quiz. It can also convert documents into an e-learning. So if you have a learner guide or anything that you want to convert into an e-learning file, it can do that very quickly for you. It's user-friendly, obviously, interface, AI-assisted editing. It creates a rich media interactive learning file, and it integrates with just about any LMS. There's not all of them, but just about any LMS. And I'll explain how. So how does it work, and how are we different? So firstly, eSkilled has been around creating e-learning for some years. You may know the brands Precision, Compliant, Total Vet. They're all our brands. So we've created e-learning for some time. So we have an instructional design team, and we also have obviously the best AI experts. We've been able to get a good number of AI experts to build the platform, so it creates a really nice, engaging output that gets you further along the way than, say, any normal system that you use for AI. It uses tell, show, do methodology, so practical provides the content, gives practical examples, case studies, scenarios, and it gives you a formative assessment at this stage. It speeds up the design with beautiful themes, and it publishes into an interactive SCORM output. I've got some questions. Now, guys, if anyone has any questions, there's a little question mark bubble on the right-hand side that you can ask questions. I'll try and get to them during the session. If I can't, I'll obviously reach out and give you the information after. Oh, hi. Sue said her RTO is also a school. That's awesome. I'm sure that this is going to be really relevant for you, but obviously, if you're using this course for anything that's non-accredited, I'm going to give you some little pointers on that as well. So I'm glad you mentioned that, Sue. Thank you. Maria asks, what SCORM versions can it create? It creates two different versions of SCORM. It creates a SCORM 1.2 and a SCORM 2012. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll show you when we get to that. That's fine. Any more questions? No? Good. All right. Ask any questions as we go. The next thing we're doing is doing a demo. So I can see there's lots of RTO. So we're going to use a unit of competency to create a course. Right? Now, before I do though, I wanted to take you through the different modes that you can use, right? So when I create a course, I hit create course here. And it takes me into the course creation step one. At that point in time, I've got this course creation type here. Now, there's two different modes there, creative and document conversion. So creative is going to create your text, whereas document conversion is going to convert a document into an e-learning, right? So if you have a learner guide, it'll be your text and it'll use AI to generate the to structure the course in an e-learning file rather than using AI to create the text. Right. So creative is the mode I'm going to show you today. But if you use document conversion, you almost don't need to prompt it because it'll just generate it into a course. Of course, if you want to edit it later, I would also recommend prompting it anyway. But yeah, it'll convert it into an e-learning file for you. Makes it really quick. All right, so I've got a particular course here in mind. I know that there may be lots of different suggestions on what courses we can do. But the reason I've done this course is it's a BSB operate digital devices course, right? So it's a unit of competency. The reason why I've chosen this unit of competency is that it's available in, and this is the TGA website, it's available in a lot of packages, right? For different state bodies, all sorts of packages, right? And skill sets, of course, as well. So it's available in a lot of context, right? Now, the reason why I wanted to do that is because I wanted to show you how it can contextualize it, right? So, firstly, you put in your course name, describe your course audience. Now, I've just copied the information from the actual TGA unit, but obviously you can describe your course audience. So it can be year 10 and 11 students. It can be, you know, technicians. You know, it might be a technician for a particular company. You can really get granular in about who your audience is, so that it can know how to deliver to that. You might put in lower socioeconomic area. Um, Elizabeth has asked us, the SCORM output, is it editable? Yes, it's editable, but only in this platform. It is producing a SCORM output. It is not producing a file that can be edited on any other SCORM platform. Right? So there's obviously a bunch of SCORM platforms that produce SCORM files. Like Articulate, for instance, would be the example that I think you would be referring to, Elizabeth. Um, the SCORM output is not editable. You can't drag it into Articulate and then edit it. But you can edit it within the platform and then regenerate that SCORM file. So that you can do. All right, so you understand course audience, describe your course in detail. So this is operate digital devices, and I'm going to do as part of a, what are we going to do it? As part of a workplace foundation skill set. How about that? And we're going to do some more contextualizing in a minute. But this is just sort of to give you a little bit of an understanding, right? The next thing you do is attach documents. So this gives you the ability to attach all sorts of documents to this course. Now, if you're going to trial this, what I would recommend is you don't just attach the unit, which, you know, obviously we do, and I'm going to do. I'm going to attach the unit of competency. Hold on, I'll just cancel that and I'll drag and drop it. Oh, oops, no, sorry, it doesn't do that. How do I attach it? TEC, yeah, that one. Okay. It's a unit of competency, but you can add in curriculum documents, learner resources. I've got an example of an RTO that actually, so I could probably tell you, Surf Lifesaving use this. They use their PDF files and they flesh them out using, so they put in their learner resource and it just fleshes out into an e-learning file. So as if their PowerPoint is just like a presentation file with topics basically, and this will help create it into a full e-learning. But yeah, we're adding the unit here. Now, notice you get up to 500,000 characters and we've only got 6,179. So you've got lots of data you can input there. Okay. I'm going to go next now. The next step is about context. So how much, firstly, the first question is select the course depth and breadth. So how much text do you want? Do I want it to be, you know, comprehensive? You notice I'm going to put standard so we can get through this demo and present something to you. It'll take about 15 minutes, probably maybe even a bit less to generate it. Reading level, you know, very easy as a 5-year-old. Difficult is university graduate level. I would always tailor, and this would be, your consultant will tell you this. Tailor it to the lowest common denominator, the lowest student knowledge in that particular class. So we'll go thinking, because it's a pretty basic course, I'm going to go standard, because it could be someone could have no university or after school training. So that I'm going to go standard just for that one. But you can use your little speech bubble and it'll give you reading age and description. So just make sure you go off the description. Language, there's 96 different languages in this platform so far. I think there might be more coming. Tone of voice, that's not voice as in the voice of, voice to text. It is the language, tone of language probably more describes that question. I like encouraging, but you got casual, professional, funny, dramatic, excited. Country context, very important. I was speaking to a client in a conference last year, and they were New Zealand, were based in New Zealand, and they were doing courses for retail workers in New Zealand. So obviously it brought in cultural greetings from New Zealand, and it brought in, so kia ora, cultural greeting from New Zealand. So it really takes that context and takes it to heart in the presentation, gets you further along the way. And then other contextual considerations. This is where you can put in industry context. So we're doing this for a particular industry, because this is operate digital devices. So this could be for any business industry. It could be for mining. It could be for fitness, right? We're going to put it in whatever context here. I'm going to say fitness course. Fitness industry. Oh, industry. Oh, I've spelled that wrong. Industry. Now, step 3. Course settings. So this is really how it looks and what's going to be part of the course, right? So categorizing it is a way to file away these courses, so you can have business device. Let's just call it business. Topic navigation, free or linear. So that means that, do I need to progress in a linear fashion? Do I need to do the first subtopic before I can do the second subtopic? Or so on and so forth, or can I just click any menu item and it goes to that? So I'm going to do free for this one, just so you can see it. Include videos, include flip cards, include learning objectives. So videos is, it's going to search YouTube with prompting. It's going to use keywords to prompt YouTube and produce an output. Of course, you can edit those videos. Don't think that that's the only option you have. You can choose whichever video you like. It's just gives you a bit of a base point. Include flip cards. That'll be, maybe definitions will turn into a flip card, that sort of thing. Add learning objectives. That's a menu, and include case studies. Of course, we're going to include case studies. Right? And then how does it look? What sort of theme do you want? Now, completely customizable themes, I'll go into that once we start generating. But yeah, you can customize your own themes, or you can choose the themes that we give you. But there's lots of options there. And then the last step is quiz. So are we going to do a quiz, or and are they going to be true or false, single multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks and matching? So you can do any of those question types. Do I require quiz attempt for course completion, and am I allowing progression on the wrong answer? That sort of thing. So you can set these rules, and then you hit generate. Now, at this point, what it does is it generates you a topics outline, right? Now, because I've uploaded the unit of competency, it's going to do a good job. Sorry, I've got a question here from David. Can you turn off access to the web so that the AI only works with the content that you load in? The answer is no, David, because it's searching, because actually putting it through a tool. It's putting it through the tool, that mainly ChatGPT 4.0, but it will put it through a model. That being said, it's using the API version, so it's not. So even though it is using your stuff first and then using the language model, it is only going to be within your portal, and it's going to be encrypted to the model and encrypted back and not feed the model. So hopefully that's answering your question. But no, the answer is it cannot do it without using the model. except for if you're just wanting to create it yourself and not use AI at all. So no, but again, you can use, if you have a course that you're wanting it to generate, you can also have it use it can use your stuff first, if that makes sense, if you anything that you've added. I have another question from Elizabeth. Are there plans to evolve the tool as new improved ChatGPT versions come out? Yes, of course. We do upgrade the tool regularly. We update different tools that do different things. Mainly we use ChatGPT 4.0, but the 5 version is not to our standard yet, so we haven't released it in the 5 version. That being said, we update it regularly. Yes, we use the best tool for the best output. Obviously, images use a different tool. We use a different tool for quizzes, and we use a different tool for content. And ChatGPT is the content one. Yes. So at this point, what it's doing, he's painting his little masterpiece, and he's generating a course outline. So that's good timing with the question. So it's going to do a very good job of using the elements and performance criteria as topics and subtopics. I'm assuming that's the ones that's accurate. Elements, performance criteria. Yeah, it's done a very good job of that. And you can edit that. You can drag and drop. I can even drag a subtopic into a topic if I want. I'm going to move it back. Delete. Delete, move things around, you get the point. And then I want to hit generate. Now, this is, of course, at any point along this, you can use your own, you can type content manually if you want. But yeah, we want to get it to produce it with AI, right? So now he's turned into a chef, and he's going to cook up the course. It's 24 topics, so hopefully it doesn't take too long. But what we're going to do in the meantime, I'm just going to go into a few of the features set that we can use. And if it hasn't generated, I'll do the editing using one we already have. The other thing, before I do that, what I wanted to do is, I'll come back to pricing, guys, so don't worry. I wanted to jump into this section here. So I wanted to show you a course that we've produced. Now, these example course, demo course, that's what I wanted. All right. So we've got some example courses in here, right? Now, hold on. Are you saying we could download a unit from training? Sorry, Jeff asked a question. Are you saying we could download a unit from training.com.au? I think he means .gov.au, and then use the regulations relative to another country. Yes, you can. Of course, it might confuse it a little bit. Depends on what course you're referring to and what country, I would say. But yeah, you can, absolutely. Might do a few hallucinations, I would guess, but yeah, we'll see. So I'm just going to open up this prepare poultry dishes one as an example. Now, any one of the courses you produce, you can produce a preview link, and this is what this is. It's a preview link into this course. All right, I'm going to just show you through an example course and some of the things you can build into it. So there's obviously text to audio as well. So if I highlight that bit of text and I want to read it out, it's 13 seconds. I'm going to do that.
Plate dishes. Plating is an essential skill in presenting simple dishes. It's not just about putting food on a plate, it's about making the dish visually appealing and appetizing.
So I think you'll find that if those who have used AI to produce text audio before, you'll find that this is going to be a lot less robotic. That being said, there's a bunch of different voices in there, and some are more robotic than others. But yeah, I think you'll find that it does a really good job of pausing at the right moment, so you're not getting a really monotone voice. Also, we've got things like hotspots, so I can then turn an image into a hotspot. Hotspot questions, different. Make it really interactive. It also produces tables automatically for you. Flip cards. It will produce these flip cards generally without the picture. It'll do front page with keep it simple, and back with the text, but you can edit those too and add in images if you choose. Again, another hotspot. You can notice it's a different icon this time. And then case study, and then we've got conclusion, this one here, more stuff, a video. You'll notice that, oh, there's a video. I can watch it on YouTube. And then quiz. Oh, oops. Yeah, that allows you to do all sorts of things. So really nice looking design. There's also accordion somewhere here. If I can find an accordion. Mostly it's really nice designy. We've got our instructional designers to create this one, so it looks pretty cool. But yeah, but most people can do things like this pretty quickly and easily. No, I don't have any accordions. Okay. Oh, there we go. Here's one. Drop downs. All right. Okay, Elizabeth, can you tweak the voice line exactly? Can you tweak the voice line exactly? When we've used AI voice tools, we've often had to tweak the pronunciation and emphasis. No, so you have to type in the text. So once you've got the text in there that you're happy for it to read, it will read it. You can edit the text, but you can't get it to pronounce it differently. No, that isn't part of this. We're up to topic 7 here. I just want to touch on themes before I move on. I'll go into editing in a minute, and I'll show you how you edit it. Okay, sorry, got more questions. Donna, so does it only produce SCORM as an LMS, as our LMS does not support that? Oh, okay. So it produces SCORM or it connects via LTI. They're the two ways it can connect. I'll explain both in the latter part of this meeting. Hopefully that answers your question, Donna. Most LMSs use SCORM output. I'm surprised that your LMS doesn't. We have one that does. I'd love to show you that, Donna. Maybe we should look at a different LMS. Anyway, we can talk about that later if you like. Melissa, can you please repeat what you said about generating it on different platforms? About generating it on to different platforms. Are you talking about putting the course onto different LMS platforms, Melissa? Is that your question, Chris? If it is, you can use SCORM, obviously, to upload it into your platform, or you can connect it via an LTI connection. And it depends on your LMS tool as to whether you can actually import it in there. But most do allow SCORM. We cannot teach pronunciation, however, we cannot teach pronunciation, however, we can choose to use our own voice instead. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, yes, you can read out a bit of audio, save it as a file, and upload it in there as an AVI file if you want. If you want to read it yourself, of course, this is to save you time in generating it, and obviously, so you don't have to pay the money for someone to read out your text, which can be quite expensive. So, yeah, good point. Yeah. Hopefully, I've answered Melissa's question. If not, please come back to me, and I'll hopefully. Oh, sorry, it's just had a bit of a moment there. Melissa's asked, you mentioned Accelerate. Yes, it does work on Accelerate and it does output to Accelerate. I'll show you how to do that when I'm showing you the export. So yes, it will do that for you, Melissa. All right, so while we're still going, we're up to topic 10. It's taking a little while, this one. See, it's a detailed course. So what I'm going to do is just take you through a couple of the themes. So you can customize the themes that we have there, or you can create a new one from scratch. I'm just going to customize this summer one so you can see what it's going to look like with the course that we've just produced. Hopefully I don't stop the generation by doing that. Just realized I could. All right, so you got theme, cover page. You can edit that cover page. If I go to edit it, I'll be able to add videos. I'll show you how to add videos in the editing section, but it'll do the same thing here. So those guys who want to edit the cover page can. Completion page, of course content banners. So you can change banners to banner images or colors. You can preview them. It'll preview them how it's going to show. but also you'll see you can do things like banner icons, fonts, colors, different. You can see, you can't really see that there, but it's an icon which is on a background, so a clear background. So you'll see that, and so that's how it can come out as an icon on there. You'll see that when we generate. And course builder, so we've got fonts, image settings, table settings, interactive activity settings, so you can change the icon on the images, padding, and you can use, there's a bunch of different options for that, but you can use the ones that are there, or you can edit them. You can create your own. And then course preview, so that's sort of like the left-hand side menus and the little hamburger menu here as well. All right, no more. Sorry, just checking questions. Any questions on themes before I move on? I think we're pretty good. Jump into a couple of courses, see if I can't. Oh, up to 15. Hopefully we'll have it produced by the end of the meeting, and I can show you one that's done. So mostly when it comes in with video, it comes in with some flip cards, and obviously your pre-built quizzes. But mainly it's text, right? So we're going to edit that text, make it more engaging and interactive. So what I'm going to do is jump into one that's been done early. Hopefully not too much editing in this one. Okay, this is a pretty boring looking one, but apologies, guys. Hold on. Oh, this was a document conversion that's happened. It's a pretty boring document. Looks a bit. Hold on, let's go back. Let's try one that's been created using the creation mode. What I might do is just go into an old one. Let's try this one. Yeah, okay, here we go. Oh. So if there's no info in the topic, you can use the AI assistant to generate content. So if I do that, it's going to generate me some text. Hopefully it can be doing both of them at the same time. Actually, what I might do also is jump into another course page and open one. I'm going to open one I did just as a test for my brother who has an NDIS business. This is a non-accredited. This one. I've just called it Workplace Health and Safety for NDIS Gardeners. There you go. This is an old course. This doesn't have videos or any of that pre-done. You'll see that when we look at the one that's pre-done. We're getting there slowly. All right. So it comes in as mainly text, like I said, and then you can add in the elements. So if I'm going to highlight this bit of text, I can do things like, use the AI to expand it, bullet point, summarize, or do text to speech. So if I expand that text, it will give me it's going to generate using AI that expanded bit of text. Hopefully I'm not doing too many things at once to confuse it. But yeah. So you can see here, that's going to be more text, or you can bullet point or summarize or whatever. You can add in videos, images, interactive output. So if I'm going to add in, what I might do just to show you, I'm going to find a spot. Actually, let's jump into like near the end here. I'm going to throw in a hotspot here. Oh, we've already done that. That's okay. Notifying supervisors and relevant authorities. All right, so let's do that. Let's just go interactive hotspot, single column. I'm going to drop it in. So this gives me an option so I can add an image in here, and maybe I'm going to put some of these steps in there. I'm going to go responding to accidents. So we're going to use the free image libraries here. You've got options for 2 different image libraries, Pexels and Unsplash. And I'm going to go accident. Let's say guard. Hopefully it gives me something. But these image gens aren't good at 2 different images. But let's see. Let's see how I go. 2 different words. It's giving me gardening pictures. That's helpful. Yeah, just go accident. Let's just grab this one just as an example. Oh gosh, that's a horrible one. Sorry guys. Fix that. You can do things like crop it. I'm going to crop out the tattoos and everything. Hopefully get a nice looking image. Are there all images and video content free, or is there additional costs or copyright fees? How many images are available? Or does the AI search the web for images? Okay, that's a good question, Pierre. So the images that I'm adding from their free content libraries, so they are copyright-free images, right? So you don't need to pay any additional costs for that. There's also an AI image gen section there too, so you can use AI to generate images. Of course, that uses your AI generations from your package, so that's something to note. Come on, image. I think it's doing too many things. Oh no, here we go. Unfortunately, I couldn't. There's a couple of issues because I think I was trying to do too many things at once. Oh well. Sorry, guys. So you can see it's added a hotspot here. So that's A. I can then copy a bit of text into that. So maybe I want to get an bit from steps to notify the right people. So I'm just going to grab one here. So yeah, it's pretty quick and easy to create that sort of stuff. Yep, cool. Now you can add different things. So flip cards, hotspots, images, call to action buttons, content banners, text 2-3 columns with heading and paragraph or just paragraph. You can add video or audio content. This is how you would add just your normal reading it out. If you want to read it out yourself, you're welcome to. Document viewers as well. It'll generate quiz questions for that particular topic. It'll generate these questions for you. Here we go. This is the example course we've got. Hopefully we've got some text in here. And there's an image, there's a video, and there's a flip banner for ergonomics. I prefer fitness space. It's a good example of flip cards. There you go. Ergonomics, posture, spine alignment, equipment safety. So it's got a bunch of flip cards in there. Start devices. Yeah, see, we didn't reduce all the text, but that's okay. And then you can use AI either within the thing, or you can use AI to generate you examples, or maybe I want to turn that into text to speech. So this is how you would do text to speech. I'm just going to do the current topic only. That little section here. Gosh, my internet's a bit slow today. Oh, normally it takes not too bad. So you can choose different voices. This is English, so there's a bunch of different voices, including US, Canada, Ireland, India, Nigeria, Singapore, Philippines, and then there's US, English, which is another couple of different voices. And then we've got, you can pick whatever language you want, but remembering it's reading English, so it's going to read English with that accent, right? Andrew's, I like Andrew actually. He's quite a good voice. There's like the pauses are perfect and everything for Andrew, but obviously we like UK English in Australia, so we can use Matthew, and it will generate the text to audio in a few minutes, in less than a few minutes actually. Generally doesn't take this thing to load actually. So William convert, and then it'll convert this to text to audio. A couple of seconds. It takes about 10 seconds to do that. What's this? Oh yeah, that's that course. Great. Now, any questions before I move on to pricing? Oh, and exporting. I've got to move on. I've got to show you exporting. Let's do that. So firstly, you can save it. You can download SCORM here. If I download SCORM, so this is the two different SCORM outputs. There's either 1.2 or SCORM 2004, 4th edition. Sorry, I couldn't remember the date, the year. 4th edition. If I'm doing Accelerate, sorry, Melissa, I'm going to answer your question here. enables simple sequencing and SCORM 2004 4th edition. That will export to Accelerate. All right. If not, I would do 1.2 for any other product. It's simple sequencing doesn't give you as good an output, I believe, but a good options in terms of managing that SCORM. But yeah, 1.2 works really well. Yeah. The other way you can export it is via LTI. So I'm just going to go back. Do I want to? Yes, I want to unsave. Don't worry about saving it. So with every course here, I can hit these 3 dots and I can enable LTI 1.1 or 1.3. There is in the support here, there's some tutorials on how to import that into your system, whether it be our Moodle-based system or whether it be any other system that you use. LTI works in most systems as well. It's like interoperability is the I for that, and that means that it connects between devices. So it's sort of like a window into the device, but it's actually pulling from our platform. You can also see how many generation credits you've used. I don't think I've used many here because it didn't finish the assessment, but normally you'll get, for a fully accredited course with an upload, you're generally going to get about 200,000 generation credits in total, and 200,000 generation credits in total. And then obviously if you add text to audio, it's going to about double that generally. So in terms of generation credits used, I'll explain what that means in a bit because we're going to talk about packages. You can also generate preview iframes or preview links. An iframe is a bit of code that you can plug into any website, so you can sort of see the content in the website. Preview links are not going to get you output. Students, you're not going to know what students have done when you use a preview. Whereas if you use SCORM or you use LTI, it'll connect to your LMS and then you get progression. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. If you need any further advice on that, the support ticket will give you some evidence, some info on that, the tutorials, and you'll be able to check. The other thing is if you're still struggling, you can ask questions using this little button here to support ticket, creates a support ticket for us. All right, cost pricing. So pricing packages that are available. Oh, I got another question. Hold on. Does this tool assist with mapping side of things? For example, if you sourced a unit, sourced from a unit, how does it sufficiently meet the unit requirements? Okay, good question, Elizabeth. You're asking some clever questions, Elizabeth. Okay, so it's creating a SCORM file only with formative assessment. It isn't mapping. It isn't doing any of that as yet. Oh, little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, guys. It's not doing any of that just yet. But it's doing content, practical examples, case studies, and scenarios, and formative assessments. These things are not required for mapping. We map it in our units of competency that we sell, but you don't have to technically map formative assessment. I recommend you should, but you'll have to map that manually. Elizabeth, if you have quizzes in your assessments, you should map them. But the cool thing is, because it's mapping to the unit, you're going to get elements and performance criteria in the actual output, so you can cleverly map using that. Right? Sue asks, how and where do you see a student progress? Okay, Sue, so this is not an LMS. So student progress is shown in an LMS system. This is just building the course content. This is building the courses that you then plug into an LMS so you can see student progress through them. So this is not its own LMS, not yet anyway. Eventually, maybe it might be, but right now it's not. This is only a tool to produce you e-learning files that you can then use in an LMS and see student progression in that sense. Preview links aren't even going to do it. So if you click the link to a preview, obviously let's just do that so I can show you. Preview is just going to generate copied, pasted into a browser. There's a preview link of that course. I can then click the start button on that course when it loads. Start button on that course when it loads, right? hopefully I answered your question too. Back to pricing. All right. So before we move on, actually, let me just go through pricing now because we're running out of time a little bit. So we've got Australian dollars, US dollars, euro, everything, but we'll go with Australian for now. Right? Mostly everyone's an RTO, so I imagine you're Australian. You can do monthly or annual. Now the difference, very important part of this, is downloading SCORM files is only available on the annual subscription. Right? Very important. If you want to stay on monthly subscriptions, you would have to connect it via LTI. Now that can be can be beneficial for your RTO because then if you edit courses, it will then automatically pull through to your course in your LMS. So linking it it can be better. That being said, I actually like the idea of downloading a SCORM file and keeping it. But to be able to download it and keep it, you need to go on the annual subscription, right? So firstly, monthly, your starter price is $89. If I go annual, that's just 12 of 89. But if you go up in the packages, you get discounts when you go for annual. So the maximize is 16,169, gives you a discount a month, right? And also, of course, the SCORM download functionality, right? Now, let me explain the elements within this. So one user means one person creating content, right? Creating courses, 20 gig of storage. Now, you're unlikely to hit that unless you are downloading or you're uploading videos into the platform, because obviously then it's storing the video, in which case you can increase the storage by purchasing it. In terms of the generation credits, so the base package is 1,750,000 AI generation credits per month. So every month it'll reset and give you that amount. You can produce, like I said, if you're using text to audio and you're producing 500,000 generation credits per course, then of course you're only going to get 3 or 4 courses in there. But if you're doing it without text to audio, if you're not doing a as complicated course, then you can generate more. It's sort of how long is a piece of string, but like I said, you do your trial, you test how many you use, and then you can see how much generation credits you need to use. The other thing is it's only got a 50 course limit in the base package. That's how many courses sit on your platform at any one time. So if you are up to 49 courses, you've generated 49 courses over several months, and you've got one more course, you're up to 50 courses, you want to upgrade, you'll have to upgrade your package, or you can delete courses, right? But you've obviously used credits to generate those courses. So, that may not be relevant. So either way, that's the way. Most people go with maximize because it gives you a whole lot more value for what you get. You get 2 users, you get more storage, you get significantly more courses, and you get more generation credits every month. So most people go with maximize because it's really only not quite $600 more for the whole year. That's a yearly cost, by the way, guys. That's an upfront cost that then you charge, and then you've got access for a full year. You can also purchase extra generation credits. If you only want to start with the starter and then add more generation credits, you can do that. You'll probably find if you start to add credits, you're gonna be better off going with the maximize anyway. But you go for whichever solution is going to suit. All right. Do I have any final questions? I think I've pretty much gone through everything. Any feedback, questions or feedback? David, are the products developed in AI course generator stored at eSkilled or on the purchaser's storage facility? That is a very good question, David. Okay, so eSkilled, student management system, learning management system, and AI course creator, we all use AWS servers in Sydney. So it's stored on the server, on your portal within the server. Each person that signs up gets their own subdomain here, right? And it'll be on your portal, right? It's your proprietary content. When you generate using this AI course creator, it's your content that you've used. So you can download that text and that's yours. It is being encrypted to the model and back. We have the ISO 27001 certification for data security. So we keep your data very secure. We go beyond the ISO too. So there's extra requirements above the ISO that we do. That means validation. That means keeping data for periods of time. It means letting you know when things are breached, that sort of thing. But it's very secure. Hopefully that answers your question, David. If you have any further follow-up questions from that, or you need a data security questionnaire, just let us know and we can work on that. Amy, what are the privacy and copyright protections for resources uploaded into the AI platform? Are there any resources then used to develop AI model and generate content for other users? I think I just answered that question, but I'll explain it again. So in terms of this is your portal. Your content is stored on your portal, all right? It is encrypted to the model. It's pushed through the model, obviously, because it has to get the output from the model, and then it's encrypted back. And the terms of the contract with the companies is that it does not feed the model. So that is in terms of protections. In terms of privacy and copyright, you own the content that's in this platform. This is your content. You're just using our platform. Our platform is a tool for you to use the content, but it is your copyright, your protections. If you add an image that isn't copyrighted, it's not on us, it's on you. Right? And it's all very clearly explained in the terms and conditions if you read those. Hopefully that answers that question, Amy. Oh, we've got heaps more. Here we go. Elizabeth asked, how does the tool differ from what is in the SMS completely separate tools? Yes, three very different platforms. Student management system, learning management system, and AI course creator are different platforms. They are separate tools. This is generating new content that you can then put into your LMS, and then that LMS the student management system can guide or get the learners enrolled into the LMS courses. Make sense? Oh, LMS, yeah, learning management system. Sorry, you've corrected yourself, Elizabeth. You're meaning LMS. Yes, of course, it's a separate platform. You're putting that content on the LMS once you generate it. Maria asked, do you have a detailed breakdown somewhere of what the different items, e.g. videos, AI picture generation calls, picture generation cost in credits? No, so there's not a detailed breakdown, Maria, because it is really how long is a piece of string. It is more up to, we give you a trial for 14 days so you can test things like that. There is a certain amount of AI image gen credits that you get. So you can only, it's like, how many images can I create? So if I go back to the pricing here, 10 free AI image generations per month, right? The AI generation is really just the text, the quizzes, just asking the question of it's not much generation in terms of generating the prompting for the videos. So you're not going to use a lot of generations for that. It will use generations for moving text to audio. So that is something to note. But yeah, the AI generations are based on prompting tokens and what the output tokens basically. So it'll be used based on the AI image. The AI model would use generation credits, and that's how you calculate it. So it's really hard to give a breakdown because it's really just a guess, right? So either way, feel free to test it and see how many generations you use, and then up the package as relevant. Jeff, a lot to take in one session. Yes, Jeff, I agree. It's a lot. Can be a lot. Anna asks, if a subscription was cancelled in the future, would the content created while a member still be accessible? Okay, so if you're still a member, if you sign up for the subscription, you're signing up for a month, monthly, or annually. If you sign up for the annual subscription, obviously it's kept for a year. If you go beyond, once you go beyond your term, if you don't resubscribe, it's kept for a small period of time and then it's removed. But you would have to make sure that you keep access to your subscription if you want to keep your content. That being said, that time is a bit variable. It's not instant. It's not like it. As soon as you cancel your subscription, it's gone. It would be kept for a period of time. If you then activate your subscription while the content's there, it is you know, it is accessible again. That being said, I would probably keep your subscription active if you want to keep access to the content. Of course, if you're on the monthly plan and you're connected via LTI, you need to keep access. Otherwise, your course won't be there because it's connected within the platform. Whereas if you download the SCORM after a year and you finish with the product, you can still keep the SCORM and it would still be there. But obviously, editing it would be an issue. So hopefully that answers your question. Feel free to ask another one if I wasn't clear. Okay. Great. I think I may have, hopefully. Any final questions before we leave? I think that's it. Wait a minute and then we'll head off. If no, I'm done. Great. It's a pretty good tool. I think what I wanted you to take away is think about the time it takes you to produce content, produce e-learning, and this tool should hopefully improve that time significantly. It's an AI tool, right? It's not going to get you all of the way there. You still have to review that content because it's generated via AI and there can be hallucinations, right? But it's going to get you further along the way than any other AI tool that you've ever used. I guarantee you that. You'll see that when it's produced. And it's because we used our instructional design team and our auditors to view the content and make sure it's good. Camilo says, thanks, very interesting, willing to give it a go to the free period. Yes, of course, yes. Free period, guys. There's 14-day free trial, and you get to produce 2 free courses in that time. If you're generating courses and, it'll help generate. It's not going to give you all the options. You're not going to be able to do text audio. You're not going to be able to do some of the options in the trial. That being said, you should still get a pretty good idea of how to use the product anyway. All right. I think I'm happy to end it there. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. You'll be notified. There'll be an email after this about 3 hours from maybe by tomorrow morning. There'll be an email in all your inboxes with the recording and with a trial link. So you'll be able to jump into the trial and test it out for yourself. Sorry, another question. Camilo asks, can you upload existing resources to improve them? You can edit any course that you put in there and re-upload it. So yes, you can re-prompt anything. So if you go, actually, that's a good thing to show you. Within the course itself, if I'm within the course and I want to edit some of the topics and subtopics, I can regenerate that section if I want. So if I go edit topics, you can edit the output as well. I can add in let's say I want to add in another test topic. When I can do return to course and that'll just save that test topic there, right? And then I can generate it manually, or I can hit regenerate content by AI or save outline. I'm going to return to course. Are you sure you want to discard? Oh, no, that's discarded. Save outline, sorry. Do I want to generate content or do I not? So I'm just going to go no here. So it'll bring me back to the outline in a second. Loading. Okay. So now I've got, where is it? Where's my test? Somewhere here. This one. There we go, deactivate it. So you'll see that's not going to generation. I can use to generate. Hopefully that answers that question, Camilla. Okay, Maria asked the question, can you upload SCORM files from another authoring tool and edit them? No. So Maria, that is something you cannot do in this product, certainly not as yet. It may be something that we add in the future, but not yet, no. Okay, I'm happy to end it there. Thank you, everyone. Feel free to reach out with any questions you have. You're going to be communicated after this session. We'll get you to provide some feedback as well if you can. Um, Feel free to, yeah, ask any questions or trial it yourself.